What is up, you guys? Me again. So necklaces, some of Kirito's ashes in here. See, as you can see, there's some of the back. My father's class ring, sterling silver Jesus pendant, and a cross and Trinity. All right, so let us end Apple Watch with my little Kirito as a wallpaper on it. All right, so let's make this into a remake. I made this in a video a couple days ago, but let's make this one again. What will Rapture Day look like? What will the day of the Rapture be like? Well, first of all, let's just say this. No man know the day nor hour of his return, not the angels, not even the Son, but the Father only. That goes to all Rapture date setters. We're in the end times. That's a fact. That's true. That's 100%. His return is soon. The rapture is very soon. It's imminent. It could happen at any time. We know that for sure. But we don't know when. Alright, so there's going to be a lot of destruction. The rapture is going to be less than a second. It's going to be a split second. We'll be caught up in the twinkling of an eye. So, it'll be a split second. And then afterwards, it will happen before we even know what happened. And right afterwards, there will be chaotic destruction everywhere. There are going to be Christian pilots in airplanes carrying hundreds of people that will get raptured. And the plane having no pilots will go down. And all the people who are not saved, the people who are saved on the plane will be raptured too. But all the people who are not saved will, in fact, be killed upon impact to the ground when the plane crashes. So, and then there will be cars. Drivers will be raptured. And then as a result, they will, they will crash. And then, and this is going to be in a lot of different places, like airplanes, as I mentioned, going crashing in a lot of different places in the world. Cars, millions of cars with millions of saved Christian drivers disappearing and going into the rapture and the car will get into accidents. So, millions upon the world. So that's destructive enough. If that's not destructive enough, then there are going to be people who will be looting. There will be like robberies, murders, rape. All of this stuff will be increased very much so. So, again, you will be, whatever you do on a daily basis, regularly, like, for the person who is a sinner that is not saved, and their regular daily activities are going to strip clubs, going to bars to get drunk, going to a whorehouse, for hookers, for fornication, or going to buy drugs. To those people that are unsaved, they will be doing their exact activities that they've been doing every single day for a very long time. When on the day that the rapture happens, people who are in church, like preachers and pastors, they will be preaching, and the people in the audience will be worshiping, praising God. That's what they do on a regular basis. So they will be doing that too. So it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at an expected time. The rapture will happen when you least expect it, and it will only last a split second. All of a sudden, when you're in church, there are people in churches everywhere. Some of the people there are not saved. They're not Christians. They're not born again. They think they are and deceived by the devil, but they're not saved. And they will witness people, a lot of people, tens and 20s of people in church, just vanishing in thin air, leaving the clothes behind. Or I don't even know if the clothes would be left behind, like in the movie Left Behind. But people everywhere will be seeing people vanish. You flip on the news and you see, like, oh, the vanishings. Like, this so-and-so has just vanished. Blah, blah, blah has just vanished. Like really famous people who are saved. They just completely vanish in the thin air. They're gone. We don't know if they got abducted by... Oh, that's another thing right there. People, when the rapture happens, they won't think it's Jesus taking them to heaven. They will believe that it is, in fact, aliens abducting people. When the day comes when millions and millions of Christians completely disappear, atheists will just think they've been abducted by aliens, or some kind of new high-tech weapon that causes people, not every person in the world, but like millions and millions of people, to be completely obliterated. Not even any ashes left behind. Just completely disintegrate into non-existence. Seriously. Well, luckily for us, as true born-again Christians, with the Holy Spirit residing in our hearts, we know the truth. We know the truth. So it will be, in fact, Jesus taking us home to heaven. So, yeah, you guys, get saved now. Romans 10:9. For if you confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord, believe it in your heart that God rose him from the dead, you shall be saved. Time is... You ever heard of the phrase time is of the essence? Well, here, right now, time is basically up. Let me tell you about a dream I had back in like 2019-ish. Jesus was on a white horse, and I was on the back of the horse, sitting behind Jesus, like riding the horse with Jesus, and like horseback riding. And we were actually way up in the sky. We were way up in the sky, floating through a giant city. I don't know, like Los Angeles or something like that, down below us. And then in midair, there was these giant scrolls, a gigantic scroll, a really, really big scroll. and also a really, really humongous book. A huge book and a huge scroll. And I believe one of the dreams I've actually had, if not this one, had an hourglass on it, in it. And the hourglass was almost filled all the way up. So, when you flip an hourglass over, the sand, the bottom was almost full, completely full. So the time it was timing was almost up. And I believe that hourglass was the time until the rapture. So I'm going to go try to find that video. I hope you guys enjoy.